Okay, today is May 1st, 2021. Time's about 9:30 a.m. Okay, current physique update. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is my transformation update week 16. It looks like I'm down to 270.4 pounds, so almost into the 260s. My starting weight was 329.8, so that brings a total weight loss of 59.4 pounds. Last week, I saw a weight gain of 1 pound. However, this week I'm down 5.4 pounds. So I guess you could average that out to about 2.5 pounds, almost 3 pounds a week. As far as progress goes, I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at in this journey at this point. As of right now, I've done very little to no exercise and definitely nothing consistent. So this transformation's been 100% or 99% diet and lifestyle changes. So I am about a week away from being able to kind of do anything I want. So I'm definitely going to start doing more resistance training. This week I did 4 band sessions. I have some resistance bands I purchased so I can work out at home, so I don't have to go to a gym. I don't really have time for it. And my last gym membership I paid for 2 years, and I think I went 4 or 5 times the whole 2 years. So I haven't been in a gym consistently for probably going on 5 years, 4 years, something like that. 4 years probably. And so I expect to see some gains right off the bat once I start lifting heavier and consistently. I've never used bands as a sole piece of exercise equipment, so I don't really know what to expect from that. I know a lot of people think they're amazing. I'm gonna kind of give it a go and see what I think about it. I do love the fact that you can do it anywhere you want. So you can do it like right at your house. You can do it on the road if you travel. So I'm kind of excited to see what's possible with a higher quality resistance band set. So aside from that, today, I just say, like, for recap for the week, this week I did work out 4 days with really light bands, just to kind of do something. You know, some movements better than no movement. And I didn't do any cardio aside from this morning. I woke up and the first thing I did is went for a 2-mile walk. It's really amazing how much different it is at 270 pounds versus 330 pounds when it comes to just doing simple stuff like walking around the block. My block is just over a mile around, and I used to struggle halfway through that. I used to want to throw in the towel and be like, oh man, not for me. But anyway, today I did 2 miles in 45 minutes, and felt really good. I was excited, actually. I normally don't like doing anything cardio, and I probably will never like cardio. Even when I was in the best shape I've ever been in, running and stuff like that's never been for me. So I think if I can just continue doing the 2 miles a day or up that to even 4 miles a day, I think I'll be satisfied with the results of that. And it is still considered like low intensity cardio, so it's still healthy. And so that's going to be the focus going forward next week. I'm going to try to continue getting in at least 4 days or more of the weight bands and then resistance bands. And then I'm going to try to make a daily habit out of walking around the block at least twice. So at least 2 miles a day. So if I can do that going forward, I'll be satisfied. As far as the diet goes, I'm kind of standing by what I said last week. I don't think I have any room to change my macros a whole lot at this point if I want to achieve my goals. I really can't drop my calories much lower without lowering protein. because my fats are kind of at a bare minimum. They're anywhere from 40 to 60 grams a day. I could drop that even lower and do something like protein sparing modified fast, but that would also kind of require somewhat for me to drop, according to the protein sparing modified fast macro calculator, I would have to lower my protein to get myself truly into the protein sparing modified fast protocol. And I'm not comfortable lowering my protein too much because I've done this before and I've lost muscle by eating like less protein. So in my experiences, when you're in a huge deficit or a large caloric deficit, you need to have higher protein levels in order to maintain lean body mass. I didn't realize that before, and so when I did a keto diet transformation, kind of my own little thing, not something I vlogged or anything, I had great results. I lost a lot of weight, but I believe I lost a lot of muscle too. So obviously the fat loss was evident, but I think muscle loss was present as well, in a fairly significant amount actually. And I was eating around 180 grams of protein during that diet. So currently I'm eating 250 grams of protein well, all the macros I'm going to give you are based maybe plus or minus 10. So the goal for me right now is 250 grams of protein, 50 grams of fat, and 5 grams of carbs. The carbs come from like sugar or no sugar added ketchup on egg whites, olives, garlic. That's about all the carbs I eat. This week I did have some asparagus, which was a higher carb day. I think I had almost 20 carbs that day. So anyway, those numbers are plus or minus, like say 10. So I have low fat days where it might be, it's actually been maybe low as 30, but typically no lower than 40, just even if I tried. 40 grams up to like 60, proteins usually 240 up to 280. So I guess maybe give or take a little more than 10, but the goal is 10. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with food and you're weighing things out, if a chicken breast is 9 ounces and I need 8 to make my macros perfect, I'm not going to chop an ounce of chicken off of a breast to create the perfect macros. I'm just going to eat the extra protein and whatever fats associated with it. So I guess the same applies to like days I have steak. If the steak is a little more than what I need, well, then I guess I'm getting a little extra protein and fat. So like I mentioned, in my experiences, higher protein is needed whenever you're in a large deficit. If muscle retention is your goal, if you just want to lose a lot of weight, I did that also. I think I lost 68 pounds in about 14 weeks or something like that. And I accomplished that with about 170 to 80 grams of protein, maybe like 60 to 80 fat, and then the carbs under 20. So like I said, I lost a lot of weight. I was working out regularly 4 days a week. But I felt like I was losing size. So, I mean, not just size like fat size, but like muscle. So that was pretty obvious for me. Like my arm measurements were getting smaller, not larger, which I guess to some degree is normal. But like, for instance, I think when I started this journey, my arms were like around 16 inches. They're now like up to 17 and a half. So my arms are actually getting bigger, even though I'm losing weight. So I know I'm gaining some muscle. And the fun part is I haven't even started lifting yet. So I'm kind of excited to see where I can go with the resistance bands. Lifting in a gym, I've accomplished, 18 and a half to 19 inch arms in the past at about 240 pounds. So, and I'm still fat. So, I mean, realistically, I think if I was lean, I could maybe have like, 17 or 18, probably 18 inch arms, maybe, if I'm lucky, right? So yeah, I wouldn't mind ending up with like something like a shredded physique with 18 inch arms. That'd be pretty respectable. But anyway, guys, I don't want to get too far off subject. So far, everything this week went pretty well. I did consume alcohol both days last weekend. I'm sure that's to some detriment of the diet for sure. I had like 3 beers, so probably somewhere between 600 and 900 calories. It's hard to say, it's craft beer, so you can't really just readily look up calories. So obviously, I try to adjust food on Sunday to account for the beer calories. I'm not recommending that's the ideal thing to do because it's not following my own plan. So it's sort of a fail. But I guess it's better for me to have like a couple beers one day and a couple beers another day. Try to fit it all into one day. So I'm really gonna try not to make a habit out of veering away from the protocol that I'm trying to come up with here, which is basically give yourself one day to free eat or do whatever you want within reason, and then 6 days of complying to something. That's kind of what I've set out to do from the beginning, and I've tried to stick with that as much as I can. I'm not perfect, so I don't expect anybody else to be perfect. But as far as going forward, people have asked me like, what's your end goal? When do you want to be a certain weight by? I'm not really putting a lot of pressure on myself to say that I'll be a certain weight by a certain date, because what I've found is that when I've done that in the past, I start getting stressed out about it. Like, oh, I'm getting close to my goal date of whatever, being a certain weight or looking a certain way. And the pressure kind of starts like eating away at me. It makes me anxious. It starts making it like harder for me to enjoy the process of getting in shape. And I ultimately fail. So probably like most of you, every year I'm like, okay, so by this day I'm going to look this way or be in this good a shape or whatever. And it never happens. Like literally like year after year after year, I fail to achieve these goals that I put out there. Like, in 6 months I'm going to have abs or something silly like that, So I'm trying to avoid doing that. I mean, in my mind, I kind of know where I'd like to end up, somewhere, maybe like 210 or 215. But that's just a guesstimate. And I'm willing to take whatever weight that I end up at. Whatever weight ends up putting me looking a certain way. So, and as far as how long it's going to take for me to get there, whatever. I'm open to it taking a year. I'd like it to happen in a year. But I'm not going to put pressure on myself. If it takes me 2 years to get to the look the way I want to, then it takes 2 years. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Going forward, diet's going to stay the same macros I just mentioned. Maybe this week, if I have the time, I'll do like what I shop, like, what my shopping cart looks like at the end of the day when I bring it home for the week, and maybe like a day of eating, so you guys can get an idea of like what I eat on a day-to-day basis, to give you guys ideas of like how I go about calculating my macros and adjusting things. Like when I start plugging in my food, if I know I'm going to be over calories, I'll like maybe deduct an egg or two, or change something to kind of get everything to balance out. So really all you need for that is a food scale and some way to track your macros. So I use MyFitnessPal and I have a food scale. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm just rambling. I think at this point I'm great at rambling. So anyway, guys, take care. Look forward to next week. Take care.